Ladies and gentlemen, Quinn A. Hendel.
Woo! Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I am so over the moon to be here. It's been so much fun getting to meet everyone in the last little while. This is my first time on any sort of TV show, so lots of nervous energy in my tummy going on. Everyone's been so kind, and I've been so grateful for all of that. Lorelai especially for bringing me out here and all of that. But no, I've just been absolutely blown away by everyone's hospitality. So I'm very grateful. Speaking of blowing, and stay with me here. Can anyone tell me what is going on with this weather? Like, it is actually getting absurd. Like, I feel like every time I go outside, it's a little bit like playing Wheel of Fortune. You know, sometimes you're like, you walk out the door and it's like sunny and 60, and you're like, okay, I can mess with this. Sometimes you're like, and it's 20 and snowy, which isn't as nice, but it's still like, okay, I'm seeing stuff falling down. It's not horrible. And then sometimes you'll walk out and it'll be like, womp womp, and it's -5 degrees, but somehow still raining. That's the thing I don't understand. Like, it's like God is like throwing ninja stars, and it's just a mess because I'm cold and I'm wet, and those two things aren't supposed to go together. I feel like a cat. It's horrible. I'm from Minnesota, and the weather there isn't any warmer, but it's at least a little nicer. It's more consistent, which I really appreciate because you sort of know what you're getting. I think the weather is a lot like the people. Like, it's weird. It takes some getting used to, but like it's comforting in its consistency. Like you can kind of, you know what you're expecting, whereas the weather here is more like your manic bisexual friend who's like, guys, let's go out and party tonight. No, we should probably just stay in and watch Studio Ghibli or something. Wait, okay, look, it could be good, but I think we just have homework, so we should stay and do our homework. Wait, you know, school's not really real though. Like, it doesn't matter. Screw it. Let's drive to Canada. We don't have cars. We're freshmen. Okay, snow. Boom. And all you can do is take an edible and just kind of hope that they're okay. I mess around with it, but honestly, I am a really big outdoorsman. I do love winter and all the activities. I'm always one for a nice snow hike, some ice skating, that sort of thing. I'm a big cross-country skier myself. I tried downhill once when I was, I think, about 4 years old, and I fell so many times that I swore off skiing. Like, can you imagine swearing off skiing at 4 years old? I don't think I even fully knew what it meant, but I was committed to never doing this again at 4 years old. And that was all before I went down the hill. Like, that was between the ski lift and the top of the hill. It was bad. But my favorite way to get down hills and my favorite wintertime activity has always been sledding. And I'm not talking about throwing yourself down Krause Hill on whatever vaguely brown and yellow stained piece of cardboard you found on Marshall Street. I mean real sledding on a big, natural, voluptuous Minnesota hill on whatever plastic styrofoam monstrosity Santa's elves cooked up last year. That's what I'm talking about when I say sledding. And I mean, I've gone down the hills on anything. I've been down on candy canes, on inflatable flamingos, once on a plastic light-up car. Ladies, you name it, I've sat on it. But I actually haven't been sledding in a couple years now, and that's because a few Thanksgivings ago I did develop a little bit of sledding-related trauma. So I work as a camp counselor in the summer times. It's one of my favorite jobs in the world at Camp du Nord, my favorite place, a little family camp in upstate Minnesota. Absolutely beautiful. So we were doing the kind of thing like you take a group of kids out in the woods and they run around, you watch them, make sure they don't get too hurt, play games, sing songs, light them on fire, just like, you know, camp stuff. And the group I was with that week were all 5 to 7 years old, so they were adorable, really fun, and they all called me Big Quinn, which is fine. I mean, honestly, it's fair. They were like this big, so I think all of them standing up in a trench coat would still only come up to about here. For anyone watching at home, I am 6'4", I have bed sheets, I know what a duvet cover is, and my roommate would describe his demeanor as pretty much chill with whatever, so call me. Anyway, that day, we had been just walking around, we'd been going on a little hike, having a grand old time, until one of these kids, during our little structured playtime, comes up to me, Michael, which, by the way, not a name for a child. Michael walks up to me, and he puts his hand up and is like, Teacher Quinn. And I'm like, yeah, boy Michael. He says with his big blue eyes, he goes, Big Quinn is a sled. And I said, what? You'll notice the thought process in my brain, I took a moment, I was checking myself, I was like, okay, no, not true. But as I'm thinking this, I can see behind his eyes this little red light start to pulsate. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, what is happening with this change? And all of a sudden, his smile goes from just a normal child smile to reach grotesquely long from scarfed ear to scarfed ear as he takes in a breath much bigger than his 8-year-old lung capacity should be able to handle. And he looks up at me and yells, "Big Quinn is a sled!" loud enough for any kid within earshot to hear. And all I have time for is to bend down and say, "Sorry, buddy, I don't know what you before I am bum rushed and tackled by every single child within shouting distance before they push my head into the snow and start Lord of the Fliesing it on my back. Like, I thought I was going to drown in the snow. I was terrified. And this wasn't the last time it happened. Over the next couple of days, we'd be having snack, and some kid would yell, "Big Quinn is a sled!" And all of a sudden, everything's going everywhere. Cheez-Its are flying everywhere, hot chocolate on the ground, and one kid kicks in my knees, another one throat punches me, 3 more like lasso me with a vine and pull me to the ground, like Ewoks in the Battle of Endor. A little Star Wars joke for anyone watching the show alone tonight. It got so bad I'd be in the dining hall with my own family, and I would have to hide under the table when I would see the kids in my age group for fear of being curb stomped into my mashed potatoes. But that's why I haven't been sledding in a while. I think it's just a little bit less fun when you know how the sled feels. But yeah, you know, maybe it's time to look back and try some skiing. I don't know. Thank you guys so much. I've had so much fun tonight. It's been so wonderful being here.